Happy to be joined by Matt Brooks, the CEO of the Republican Jewish Coalition. We really appreciate you taking the time here. What an enormous gathering of Republican candidates and potential candidates. What do you make of it all so far?
Well, I think it is historic. I think the attendance for this event is the largest it's ever been. There's a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. The fact that we were able to attract the leadership of the Republican leadership in this country, I think, is a testament to not only the commitment they have to the Jewish community, but also the value that they place on the work that we do at the Republican Jewish Coalition. So we've got a lot of nachas. We're really proud of what we've done and the fact that we're able to pull this together, and especially proud that we're also able to attract someone like Prime Minister Netanyahu to join us as well. So I think it's just been a great weekend so far.
There was a press gathering a few moments ago. You were asked about the decision to go kind of all in on the Pennsylvania Senate race. At the same time, the RJC was immensely critical of the anti-Semitism that was coming out of a gubernatorial candidate, Doug Mastriano's campaign. The RJC is kind of one of the few organizations to actually walk the walk when it comes to calling out anti-Semitism within its own party. At the same time, were there any regrets about possibly pulling down Mastriano and it having an effect on the Senate race?
In hindsight, if we had known that he was going to win, that he was going to lose by 15%, that may have affected some calculations. I mean, obviously, we know, one of the laws of political gravity is, it's impossible to outperform the top of your ticket by 15%. So if we knew, we felt that he was going to lose. We felt that he was not the candidate that would be the strongest, certainly in the Republicans, and we were pleased to say what we did about Doug Mastriano. One of the things about the Republican Jewish Coalition, which I have set a policy in stone about, is we have zero tolerance for anti-Semitism, whether it's from the right or the left. And one of the things I'm really proud about is our record of speaking out within our own party when people cross the line in traffic and things that are anti-Semitic. And so it was an easy call for us in terms of Mastriano in the race to engage as we did. I just wish at the end of the day that it didn't have the effect of pulling Dr. Oz down and hindering his ability to win.
The U.S.-Israeli relationship could be getting uneasy once again here. We have a Biden administration, Prime Minister Netanyahu about to come back into power. They share a long relationship, but yet it's going to be uneasy. Are you concerned at all about Israel and the American Jewish community again becoming a political football going forward?
No, I am not. I mean, we've been through this before. We've seen this cycle, whether it's during the Obama years, when there was a lot of tension, versus the Trump years where there was an incredible partnership. I think it remains to be seen what the next chapter is with President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu. You heard the Prime Minister today talk about, the unique and longstanding relationship that they have. So unlike, past administrations where there was tension, there wasn't the same kind of long-term history that the two leaders have today. But we're going to remain vigilant. We're going to make sure that our Republican friends, allies, and supporters in Congress, in the House, and the Senate, if there is issues, they will continue to hold the administration's feet to the fire to make sure that they continue to stand with Israel, especially as it relates to Iran. And you heard the Prime Minister talk about that as well.
Republicans keep capturing an additional share of the American Jewish vote. The question is why? Are American Jews leaning further right as time goes along? Is the messaging by Republicans adapting? Is it a combination of different things? What's the reason behind it?
I think it's a combination. One of the things that we've learned, and one of the things that I think is sort of the secret sauce as to why we've been so successful at moving the needle in terms of our outreach to the Jewish community, is, we realized, several election cycles ago, the old school of thought was, in order to move the Jewish vote, you would just talk about Israel, Israel, and Israel. And we realized early on that the Jewish community, we realized recently that the Jewish community is not that monolithic. And as a result, if you want to appeal to them, there are people who care very deeply and very passionately about Israel, but there are also people who care about crime on the streets, who care about education, who care about immigration, who care about the economy, jobs, inflation, cost of groceries. And so our success has been to build out and suspend a massive amount of money on data analytics to put together the, because it didn't exist before, the real voter file, Jewish voter file, that is the most sophisticated ever. So the fact that we can identify on a granular level individual Jewish voters, find out what issue is important to them, find out if they're an Israel voter or an economic voter or a immigration voter, and then deliver messages to them that help bring them over. So we are, we've really expanded the scope of issues that we engage in, but also the sophistication and the targeting that allows us to reach in a micro way voters in the local level.
You mentioned crime and education. We look at the New York House races that flipped Republican. Crime and education were major issues in those races, and they helped catapult Republicans back into control at the House. Those races were largely decided by the Haredi voters in New York. I look around here at these meetings, I don't see very many representatives of the Haredi community. Is the RJC looking to draw in more of that section of the Jewish vote?
Absolutely. Look, we want to get anybody who wants to vote Republican to be part of the RJC. Anybody who wants to come to Vegas, we want them to come. We have made it so that even the most observant people can come and participate at our event. Everything is glatt kosher. There are multiple religious services throughout the day. It is, in fact, just a large-scale Shabbaton. We have Shabbat rooms for people so that they can get in and out without having to use keys. And so even the most strictly observant folks can come and participate and really sort of take part in what I think is an incredible weekend.
Thank you so much for taking the time to
pleasure.
join us.
Thanks for having
CEO of the RJC. Thank you.
Thank you.